Would you rather eat crops damaged by insects or harm the environment and ourselves? Crop farmers that use pesticides harm the people eating the food and also the environment. I've done research and talked to a professional farmer about pesticides. First, I'll go over why pesticides are harmful to us and to the environment. Second, I'll talk about how some people think pesticides are worth the risk. And last, I'll tell you how to solve the issue of pesticides. Now that we know what my speech is about, I will go over my main points. According to research in the magazine Down to Earth, done by the Center for Science and Environment, on December 31st, 2003, there are many environmental factors when looking into pesticides. It has an effect on the water we drink and on the fish that we eat. The bottled water that the research group tested had pesticides in them. The researchers also found that the plants that had pesticide used on them were using groundwater to survive, and that groundwater had the same pesticide found in the bottled water. It has also been found that there are pesticides affecting the water of the fish that we eat. These fish have toxic chemicals all around them, which cause them to have the toxins in them. Then we or other animals who eat the fish are harmed, and everybody involved doesn't win there. According to Jennifer Weeks' 2015 article, Pesticide Controversies, when towns or cities spray for bugs, it is said to be dangerous to be outside. There was a story about a guy in Oregon working for a company that sprayed pesticides from planes and helicopters while the workers on the ground were outside. He was told it wouldn't harm him, but after being exposed for 3 weeks, he was coughing up blood. Now that you know how it is dangerous, I'll talk about how people who are on board with pesticides see it. People say pesticides are worth the risk. Well, according to the New York Times article, the bugs are coming and they'll want more of our food, written by Kendra Pierre Lewis in 2018. The weather is causing bug population to increase. A hotter climate can cause an increase in insect population. For every degree Celsius the temperature rises, loss of crops increase by 10 to 25%. The heat causes insects' metabolisms to speed up, and in turn, they have to eat more to survive, causing more loss of crops. Mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus can be limited by spraying pesticides to kill the mosquitoes. Pesticide companies will test the mosquitoes to find out if they carry the West Nile virus or not. When mosquitoes have West Nile, the whole area that they find it in will be sprayed to reduce the risk of people contracting the West Nile virus. Now that we know why people support pesticides, I'll talk about how we can fix the issue. There are a ton of ways to reduce the amount of insects instead of using pesticides. Using warm weather in our favor instead of a negative factor. There are insects that are bad, but some insects are good and they eat the bad ones. Those also thrive in the warmer weather climate. Improving irrigation would help the plants thrive. If we used irrigation to improve crop production, it would reduce the need for pesticides. Now that we have a couple of solutions to the problem, I will go over what we talked about. There are many reasons pesticides are dangerous, and we should avoid using them as much as possible. First, I went over how pesticides are harmful. Second, I talked about how people believe the use of pesticides are worth the risk. And lastly, I told you to solve the problem of pesticides. I told you how to solve the problem of pesticides. Everyone needs to be more aware of pesticides so we can fight against them. It may not be noticeable right away, but pesticides are causing damage. It may be slowly, but it is surely.